So anyway, today I'm going to recap from chapter 2, the first verse going up to the point that I covered. So now last week I mentioned Srimad Rajchandra and this particular thing from Atmasiddhi Shastra, which says that the soul exists, it is ever existent, it is a doer of karmas, it is the enjoyer of the fruits of these karmas, there is liberation, and the means of liberation is true religion. Now the most important line for this chapter, which is what we are doing, is the fourth line. The third line. It is the doer of karmas and it is the enjoyer of the fruits of these karmas. Okay? So those two are the ones which are focused because it is applying to us. We are sansaric jeev. Okay? So this whole chapter generally looks at that. Now I quickly did a thing on karma as well. Just as a cover up. I'm not going to touch on karmas because there's a whole session which is going to come on karmas. But first of all, there is Ghatiya karma and Aghatiya karma, as everybody knows. There is Vedniya, Ayush, Nam and Gotra, which is Aghatiya. There is Mohiniya and there is Nanamaniya, Darshamaniya and Antraya. Okay? And then Mohiniya karma is split into Darshan Mohiniya karma and Charitra Mohiniya karma. And Darshan Mohiniya karma arises from example Mithyatva, Samyog Mithyatva, which is mixed of truth and false, and Samyaktva, which is right faith tinged with suspicion. Charitra Mohiniya karma is made up of Kashais, and then if you don't have, for example, if there are no Kashais, then there is joking, zest, boredom, grief, fear, disgust, sexual passions of various kinds, and that is what Charitra Mohiniya karma is. Okay? The reason I brought this up is because there is a lot of reference to subsidence of karmas, rising of karmas. So that's why I thought I would put it into perspective and perhaps allow you to connect. So the first verse talks about Opshamik, Kshayi Kau, Bhavav Mishrascha, Jivasya Svatatva, Modaika, Parinamikau Cha. Okay? So the distinctive characteristics of the soul are subsidence of karmas, destruction of karmas. So what is subsidence of karmas? What terminology is used by James? I could hear somebody murmur. So if you are convinced, say it loud. Go on. Opshamik. Yes. Destruction of karmas. Shai. Very well done. And destruction comes subsidence of karmas. Shai Opshamik. So if you read that verse, it covers all of this. And the rise of karmas. Udai. That means Udai karma. Udai mani is Udai. And inherent nature or capacity of the soul? Yes, it's Parinami. It's basically Parinam. Okay? So, this is how it is. The soul Nabhav, which is Opshamik, which is subsidence of karma. Shaik is destruction. Shaik is mixture. Odaik is resulting from the manifestation of karmas. And Parinami is nothing to do with karmas but what manifests naturally. So basically, I've summarized this, what they are. So these are modes of soul. Okay. Now, one question which you need to ask me is a very pertinent question, and I want somebody to ask me. What are the qualities of a soul? What have you heard about the soul from before, earlier classes? What do you know? What are the qualities? Pure. What else? Blissful. What else? Sorry? Virya. Energy. What else? Knowledge. Sorry? Nata Drashta. It's an observer and it is able to participate as well. Okay? Now, here we are talking about various various modes of the soul. If the soul is pure, if the soul is full of this immense knowledge, immense gnan, immense virya, immense darshan, it is pure and it is capable of becoming a siddh. Why does it have to have modes? It should be, it's permanent, it is there, it is there forever. I mean, you are pure, I am pure, everybody is pure. Inherently. So why do we talk about modes of soul? Why is there this Upshamik bhav, Kshayik bhav, Kshayupshamik bhav, Udaik bhav? Why? Because it is affected by the karmas. So the point I'm trying to make here is that there is something which is permanent, but there is impermanence as well. Because at times it could be Udaik, at times it could be Parinamik, at times it could be Kshayupshamik. All of us experience that. So we all have different states. The soul is permanent, it is always going to be there. What state it is in, whether it becomes a totally pure state in the sense that it is not affected by any karmas, or if it is going to take birth after birth after birth, all are modifications of the soul. So on one side the soul modifies, on the other side it is permanent. Is it clear? Yeah. I'll actually come to the classification. So parinamic is where you have the genders. For example, you have male, female, neuter. That is parinamic. Okay. So I gave this example of the bhavs, which is Kshayik, Kshayupshamik, Upshamik, and Parinamic and Udaik, all of them in this glass. Yeah, so the purest is obviously Kshayik. So, Dvi Nashtadashai Kavinashati Tribed Yatha Karmam. These 5 types of disposition are of 2, 9, 18, 21 and 3 kinds respectively. So, આમાં બધામાં classifications છે, okay? So, first of all, Samyaktva Charitre. What does that mean? Just read that line and imagine. Samyaktva Charitre. Okay? So, the 2 kinds of disposition arising from subsidence are right belief and right conduct. Okay? So, this is what happens when your karma subside. Okay? The second one is Gyan, Darshan, Dan, Lobha, Bhog, Viryani, Cha. Now this is affecting Kshayik. So it is Gnan or determinate cognition, Darshan or indeterminate cognition, Dan or donation, Labh or gain, Bhog or immediate consumption, Upbhog or recurrent consumption, Virya or endeavor, and Samyaktva or right inclination, and Charitra or right conduct. These 9 are Kshayik. So the first one, number 3, is Upshamik, and number 4 is Kshayik. Okay, when your karmas actually get destroyed, this is what happens. When your karmas subside, you have this manifestation of right belief and right conduct. So, Upshamik is subsidence of karmas. You have Samyaktva, which is right perception, and Charitra, which is right conduct. Right perception results from the subsidence of darshan mohinya karma, and right conduct from that of charitra mohinya karma. Okay? So this is a state that we want to aspire to, where our karma subside. How many of you want to do that? Am I atla adhura hath raise karo? I'm trying to as if we are sort of disabled. Why can't we raise our hands like this? Right, shy. Now this is an absolute state, okay? So there is none, which is total determinate cognition. None means that તમને સમજણ પડે કે what the world is, what the 3 loks are, everything. Darshan is indeterminate in the sense that darshan ma you get this glimpse of the brilliance of the soul. But because Gnana and a touch determine time, oh, this is magnificent, whatever I'm experiencing is tremendous. Then you start doing daन or donation. So tamarama ek જાતનું you get this feeling I want to donate. And એની સાથે તમારી આવે લાભ or gain. You gain a lot. What do you gain? You gain basically keval pad. Okay. Bhog is you can consume immediately, food or anything. For example, जैसे कि तीर्थंकर प्रभु જ્યારે કેવલ જ્ઞાન પામે અને પછી when they have given up their ઘાતી કર્મસ અને ખાલી અઘાતી કર્મ બાકી હોય, they do not consume food as such, but through their skin they are able to take in enough nutrition to keep their body in a good state. Okay. Upbhog means recurrent consumption, so it keeps on happening all the time. Virya is energy, samyaktva is right perception, and charitra is right conduct. Any questions so far? Are you clear? So this is Shai. Now, Gyan, Darshan, Labh, Daya, Chatush, Trishtri, Panchaveda, Samyaktva, Charitra, Samyam, Samyascha. So, 4 types of Gnan, or right determinate cognition, 3 types of Agnan, false determinate cognition, 3 types of Darshan. I'll come to this all in detail because I've got a whole nice flow chart done for you. So, this is Shayopshamik Bhav. So, you get, first of all, there is Mati, Shrut, Avdhi, Manaparyay. Okay, those are the 4 Gnans. Yeah, the normal 4 Gnans. Then there is Kumati. Kumati is negative of Mati. Okay, so Mati is positive. What is Mati Gnan? To the senses. Mati Gnan you acquire to the senses. So what you are actually acquiring now is through your ears and through vision. Okay. Shuddha is what? Through reading scriptures. Okay. Through introspection, that is Shrut. Avdhi is what? Avdhi is where you are able to see what is happening, say in the next room or in another part of northwest London or something like that. That is Avdhi Gnan. And what is Manaparyay Gnan? Where you can read people's minds. Manaparyay Gnan. So mind formations, this mind can read. Okay. So Kumati is what? Where it is negative. So where so Kshayapshamma Suthai. So let us assume. So first of all, you have some karmas which are subsiding. But some karmas are coming up into fruition. Okay? So when they are subsiding, you get all the positive benefits, which is this Avdhi Gnan, Manaparyay, Shuddha Gnan. But because there are some karmas coming up into fruition, you will have Kumati, which is negative of Mati, you have Kushrut, you have Ku-Avdhi, then you have what is called Chakshu. Chakshu is through the eyes, where you are able to see. Achakshu is through the other senses, so from your ears, from your nose, from your tongue, okay? So these are all the qualities that you experience. Then there is Avdhi Darshan. Now Avdhi Darshan is where you experience this person in this or this event happening somewhere else, but it is very vague. Bhoge thai, amai you experience this ability to consume, ability to consume continuously. You are able to even gain some qualities because some of your karmas have subsided. You are able to give a lot of daन, તમારામાં energy આવે, દર્શન આવે અને જ્ઞાન આવે, but you have samyam, which is a mixture where you are at times at equanimity, at times you are not at equanimity. So this is Shayopshamik. So we need to strive to even achieve Shayopshamik. It's a good state to be, because at least we are able to understand what happens to us, what is happening to us. Any questions? Is it clear? If you are confused, stop me.
When you say we should try to do this, isn't it natural
our hands to acquire any state.
Certain things we can, but certain is કર્મનો ઉદય આવે એ આપણા હાથમાં કેવી રીતે?
હા, સો આપણે કર્મનો ઉદય હાથમાં આવે, કર્મને આપણે કેવી રીતના રિએક્ટ કરીએ એ તો આપણા હાથમાં છે. So for example, I come and slap you. I might have shown growth, okay? So I come and slap you. So કર્મ મેં બાંધ્યો, પણ તમારી સાથે મારો જોડેલો કર્મ એવો હશે પૂર્વભાવનો કે I come and slap you and not anybody else in this room. Okay? How you react to it is in your control. Now you can get very angry, how dare he do this? You can say, Hase, he's stupid. Okay, which is again a negative thing to think about. Or you reach this equanimous state to you say, okay, maybe that was this karma which was coming into fruition. If you are able to think like that, which is very difficult, but if you are able to think like that even for a moment, then there is a possibility that karma which has come to you, you are not binding any more karmas. Because the problem with karmas is when one karma comes into we start reacting to it. When events happen around us, people behave in a particular way, we react to it. And the moment we react to it, we are binding karmas. એ લોકોનું કર્મનો ઉદય આવ્યો હતો અને whatever they had to do, they did.
Why don't you give a positive example? Let's say someone is giving you a very good gift of £1,000, and if you react in a way, is it still not karma? I can understand you giving negative example.
No, so the positive my negative થાય, because how you react to that £1,000 is different. Now, if you react to the £1,000 saying, oh, brilliant, I got this lottery or whatever, I don't know, and I'm really happy about it. એનાથી તમારામાં arrogance આવે કે oh, look, something has happened to me which is unique. Okay, which is very possible because this our ego is always there behind us. So arrogance આવે, that's negative.
It's not big amount. So let's say if it is just 1,000, it's not that big, so you get develop the arrogance or anything. It's just someone has given you as a gift. So, but karma to banda hai. તમે કોઈની પાસેથી £1,000 as a gift accept કર્યા તો એ કર્મ તો બાંધ્યું છે.
ના, પણ એ પૂર્વભાવનું એક કર્મ હોય કે દેણું હોય તમારું. ના, એવું ના હોય. યુ સી, આમાં શું થાય કે ઘણી ફેરે એમને આપવાનું હતું, તમારી પાસેથી લેણું હતું. ઓકે, so they gave you. Right. How now what you do with it is up to you. Now you can say, okay, I'm going to, I don't know, waste it on some ridiculous thing like buy, I don't know, whatever, some very expensive diamond ring or I don't know, whatever it is, a material thing, okay? Attachment through negative through. The attachment to that £1,000. So you're assuming that person gave you £1,000 and then somebody nicked it from you. Then that attachment that you had with that £1,000 કે મારા £1,000, તમારા હતા જ નહીં £1,000. They gave you, somebody else took it, so એના હતા. So it's very subtle. So sometimes we might think it's positive. So yes, positive things do happen, but positive things become negative for us, and that is why we bind karmas. In the sense that when positive things come into uday, અને સે આપણને સુખ, સંપત્તિ, સારું ઘર, સારા છોકરાઓ બધું મળ્યું હોય, good health, અને if you use that for your hedonistic life, okay, you want to just continuously be in this thing, then that is negative. It becomes negative as well.
So what should be your response be in that situation then? Like what kind of state of mind? Should you even say, if you say, oh, I'm grateful to God for all this, that also is a subtle arrogance in saying that, isn't it?
It all depends. You see, આમાં arrogance તમે બોલો કે તમે અંદરથી વિચાર કરો, are two different things. If it all depends on the state of your mind and તમારા ભાવ કેવા હોય. તમારા ભાવ genuinely humbleness થી કે ઓ ભગવાન, તમે સારું કર્યું કે મારા કર્મ એવા સારા હશે કે જો મને આમ થયું લાભદાયી, અને then you make a determination કે મને આ પૈસા મળ્યા છે £1,000, એમાંથી £500 I'll donate to family funding. Yeah, then that is positive because it's going to help some people and whatever. If you say, can I add 1,000 pounds, say, okay, I want to buy this lovely diamond ring which I keep on seeing in the jewelers, then that's negative.
So these are the very obvious examples. Like what I'm trying to get to is that settle only. After then I will even put it on after then like something good happens and say, however in your mind you think, oh, you're very humbly, very grateful at it, but even in that sometimes I can like settle
Oi.
comparison to somebody else's life that you are saying, oh, I'm grateful because I'm like that, not like a refugee.
Oh yeah. So you see, psychology plays a very important part. So I always say to people, okay, know yourself, introspect and ask yourself genuinely, okay, on what basis. So even when these thoughts come, you must introspect on those thoughts. What is the reasoning behind it? Is it a sincere thought? Is it my sincere vow? Or is it something which is making me feel good and everybody else feel bad and whatever, there's an arrogance or ego behind it? Is it the cause?
Arrogance is easy to catch because it's very obvious.
No.
No, what I'm saying is like, I'm not talking of somebody else's. Arrogance is you can, you know yourself you are arrogant, right? But what is settled is like, even however much you're trying to introspect, it's very hard unless you're very aware every minute that settled where it's still a hidden ego. Okay, you may think you're not egoistic, but that settled is very, very difficult to catch.
It is. So that is why you need to obviously evolve spiritually so that you become extremely aware of these things. You are right, absolutely.
You so much hypocritic word actually. So
True.
just to show the humbleness also, it's just maybe the one way of being proud or something.
There is always subtlety behind this. Human psychology, and the mind is a monkey, it is a monkey. It plays games with you. A true support you karave, it will even justify to you why you are behaving in this particular way. It does that. Okay, so next one is the 4 types of Ghati or bird species, the 4 types of Kashayas or passions, and the 3 types of Linga or called Ved or sexual feeling. 1 Mithya Darshan or wrong inclination, 1 Agnan or lack of cognition, 1 Asamyam or lack of discipline, 1 Asiddhatva or state of non-emancipation. This and 6 types of Lesha or spiritual coloring, these 21 are Odai. Now this is where your question was, Odai શું હોય? So Odai is તમારા કર્મનું પરિણામ. Now એમાં પહેલા આવે મનુષ્ય ગતિ, તિર્યંશ ગતિ, નારકી ગતિ and દેવલોક. Okay, so we can be born in any of these gatis. Then you have manifestation of the 4 kashayas. So Krodh, Man, Maya, Lobha. Then you could be born as a male, female or neuter, or you could have those kind of feelings. Then you would have Mithyatva, which is wrong belief. You could have Agnanta, that means absolutely, you are not able to understand anything. Then you have Avirati, that means you are so indisciplined, it just doesn't matter to you, Asamyam. Okay? Then you have Asiddhatva or state of non-emancipation, that means you cannot possibly progress spiritually. Then you have the Leshyas. So Krishna Leshya is black or non-dharmic. Nil Leshya is blue, which results from laziness, haughtiness, cowardliness. Kapot Leshya, which is brown in color, which is despondent, miserable, negative, gloomy. Tejo Leshya, which is religious and balanced and benevolent. And Padma Leshya, which is yellow in color, which is where the person is forgiving, alert about any spiritual shortcomings. And Shukla, which is white, pure or omniscient. Okay? So all these things are result of manifestation of karmas. Yeah? Leshyas are basically this auras, that coloring that is created around you, which is visible. So for example, when somebody is very negative, if you go in their presence, you can actually feel the negativity. When somebody is very positive, like Acharya Shri in our presence, I feel such tremendous energy coming from her. Even when she just puts her hand just close to my arm, I can feel the energies coming. So this is purity of the soul. Yeah, any questions? So this is what Odai Bhav is, which is where your karmas are coming into fruition. Then there is consciousness. So this is where આપણે ઉપયોગ આવ્યો. So ઉપયોગ is, sorry, have I missed one? Yeah, I think I have. But anyway, the eighth one is just talking about the fact that the soul has got consciousness. That is the only quality which all souls have. Irrespective of what state of bhav you are in, your soul has consciousness. Okay? Now, consciousness is of two kinds, that is knowledge and perception, and these in turn are of 8 kinds. So we have again mati gnan, shruta gnan, avdi gnan, manaparyay gnan, and keval gnan. Then we have kumati, kushrut, ku-avdi, and the 4 kinds, which is ocular or chakshu, achakshu, clairvoyance, and perfect. Okay, so clairvoyance, these are darshan. So we have manaparyay and then we have keval, which are all darshan gnans. I mean darshan state. And in the first up to E and sorry up to G, up to H are to do with your knowledge. Okay, so this is where you have consciousness. So you can have a negative consciousness and you can have a positive consciousness. Okay, so for example, if you reach manaparyay and omniscience, then there is positive consciousness. Negative is where you are in the sensory state, where you have erroneous sensory, erroneous scriptural, you have erroneous clairvoyance, avdi, and then you have chakshu. Chakshu, that means all your faculties are with you, or you can have negative clairvoyance in the sense that you would have this very vague feeling of somebody, something happening somewhere else, but you can't put your thing. So there is a possibility, but it is not manifesting itself.
Can you go through that kumati, kushrut, and ku-avdi?
So kumati is where you have sensory. So for example, I'm talking now, okay, you are listening to it, but you choose not to understand it, even though you have the capability of understanding it. You will deliberately not use your senses for the right thing, or you will use your senses for the wrong things. Yeah? Then kushrut is where you do not read what is good for you to read. For example, Jain scriptures, writings by eminent spiritual personalities, but you would read some, I don't know, murder mystery, not murder mystery, but I don't know, some negative literature, okay? And then ku-avdi is where you misuse this ability that you have, which you can see what is happening somewhere, and you use it for your personal advantage. It is ku-avdi. So there are 2 types of souls, the transmigrating and the emancipated. This is very obvious. There is sansaric and there is mukt. Yeah? And then there are 2 kinds of transmigrating souls. So even the transmigrating souls are those with and without minds. So some, like us humans, have minds. There are certain transmigrating souls who do not have minds. Then the transmigrating souls are again divided into 2 kinds, that is mobile, sthavar, and sthavar and tras. Yeah, sthavar and tras are the 2 types of beings. And then the immobile are 5 kinds. We've said earth beings, water beings, fire beings, air, and vegetation. These are called sthavar, and there it comes. And the mobile beings are 2 sense beings onwards, which are called tras. And the senses are touch, taste, smell, sight, and hear. Are these all very clear? Are you clear? Stop me if you are confused and if you are not connecting, please. So then I brought this chart up where I talked about mundane, liberated, the 2, 3, 4, and 5 sense beings and the 1 sense beings. So here the number of indriyas is mentioned with a view of making it possible to find out on its basis to how many are possible divisions of the worldly souls. And I mentioned here that mukt souls to elokonu they have done whatever they had to do. So this whole chapter, although it deals with souls, it focuses on sansaric souls a lot. Okay? and how to achieve this thing of purity, how to become pure. So here they mentioned the indriyas. So we said the indriyas are 5 in number. Not all the worldly possess all the 5 indriyas, as we know. Some are 1 indriya, 2 indriya, 3 indriya, 4 indriya, 5 indriya. Okay? And then you have the dravya type and the bhav type. So I told you that indriyas even are made up of dravya, which is the physical indriya, and the bhav type is the state or the spiritual state when your karmas nukshayapsham thai. So then the bhav types of indriyas come into focus. We are still using your faculties, but your faculties are now being channeled to positive effect. So positivity is taking place within you. And then we said there is nivritti and upkaran. So I said the external shape of the organ is nivritti, and the internal thing which is allowing it to communicate with you is the upkaran. Okay, so this is just very fascinating. Okay, imagine whatever 3,000 years, 600 years back, but based on scriptures going 2,500 years ago, these are descriptions. So somebody must have thought. ત્યારે કઈ operations ને surgeons એ નતા, but they still talked about the fact that there are bits of the organ which go into the body and they actually function. So then we talked about the bhavindriya. Now bhavindriya is labdhi or potential which tamarama certain abilities manifest themselves when shayapsham thai, and upyog or the consciousness. So when the shayapsham thai tamaru soul nu consciousness, you realize that a soul maro is something which is really amazing. Okay, and that is the psychic side of this indriya. It is still using your senses. You are not totally without your senses, but you are using your senses. But because of your karma shayapsham thai, that means some of your karmas are going down and some are coming up, there is a possibility that tamne a manifestation thai. Okay? Any questions? I was told last week that I'm zooming too fast and I'm also using a lot of technical words. I was really scolded, so please stop me. So this is a very horrible, very sort of hazy thing, but so there is sense, there is dravindriya, there is bhavindriya, upkaran, nivritti, which is upkaran is external, nivritti is external and internal, they both work together, and there is labdhi and upyog. એના ભાવ ઉપર ડિપેન્ડ થાય છે. You see, okay, let me get આપણે કર્મની વાત કરે છે ને, તમે તમારા ચિલ્ડ્રનને કેટલી ફેરે ખીજાવો દિવસમાં? 24/7. તો તમે કેટલા કરમ બાંધતા હશો? You see, it all depends on તમારા ભાવ ઉપર. જૈન ધર્મનો સંબંધ ભાવ સાથે છે. So even if you were to scold your children, in your heart of hearts, you love your children. You are scolding them because you want them to grow up to be decent human beings and sensible human beings. So you scold, as parents you scold your children. But your bhav is prem. But જો તમારો ભાવ ક્રોધ હોય, you get a lot of child abuse happening, you read in the papers, people mistreating their children, then yes. So whoever was scolding me in a bhavsala, at least they corrected me for your benefit. Okay? So sense organs are, we said there is physical sense and psychical sense. There is the organic structure and the efficiency. Efficiency is the internal structure. So internal and external. Now, then there is a psychical, which is attainment, okay, and conscious effort. So attainment are these powers which manifest themselves, and conscious effort is the consciousness within your soul, okay. And then it talks about ears, eyes, nose, skin, and tongue, which are the organs. Now, atlu detail ma, so each sense has knowledge of its own subject matter, but it is a soul which has knowledge of the subject matter of all the 5 senses. So all the 5 senses combined and then the soul makes sense of it. The ever-existing soul is always separate from all states or conditions. Manifest consciousness, which is upyog, is its permanent characteristic. Okay, so a permanent characteristic છે consciousness. So upyog takes place in relation to tangible objects, that is a physical organ is a necessary requisite of the senses as capacity to perceive or touch. For us, our senses are very important. એટલે આટલું બધું detail એ લોકો senses માં જાય છે because we are the only thing that is available for us to achieve spiritual perfection are our senses. How you use your senses is in your control. What you do with your senses is also in your control. Whether you use it positively or negative is up to you. Yeah. So karmanu a manifestation, karmanu attraction of carbon particles arises because of the senses, and a karmanu je udayavine it also arises through the senses. These are the only things that sansarik jivo are able to do that. Now, Mahavir Swami himself was a sansarik jiv. He gradually worked at it. And a check within a senses, not that he had ears, he had nose, he had everything. But he had reached a stage in his soul to the point that a senses mathi he could only hear positive things, he could only see positive things, he could only speak positive things, he could only feel positive things. Yeah, that was a difference. So, 20 and 21 are obvious. So we talked about the touch, tongue, whatever, eye, hearing, whatever. And then we said this touch, taste, smell, color, and sound. And then scriptural knowledge or Shuddha Gnan is the province of Manas. And we talked about Manas, okay? So there is another sense which is partial sense which is within us, which makes possible for it to make sense for us. And that communicates with the soul, and that says, okay, so this is the one which processes the information, and it sort of decides on the logic, okay, this makes sense, this doesn't make sense, this is what I need to do. It also plays a lot of games with you. It's not the mind, it is present everywhere. Mind is part of it, but it is present everywhere. Okay? So it is the manas which grasps the combination of all the senses, reflects upon it, and depending on the level of development. So તમારું spiritual development જેટલું હોય એ પ્રમાણે information which you gain from scriptures, which you gain from listening to eminent personalities, is then focused and actually absorbed into what happens, which is called Shuddha Gnan. Okay, so આપણે scriptures વાંચીએ now, if you were to read Tattva Sutra, ઘણી ફેર નિંદરી આવી જાય when you read the first verse and one verse, but constantly working at it and trying to understand કે ઉમા સ્વામીજી શું કહેવા માંગતા હતા, what was the reasoning behind it, then it starts making sense. Then you think, yeah, it actually does, but you have to work at it. So this is what happens to me. I read the scriptures on my way to work in the morning. Most of the times I do not get a chance to sit on a seat because the trains are so packed. And then you try and remove this piece of paper, and then people are standing like close to you there, and you're trying to remove, and then you sort of lagi jai, you are trying to read this paper and somebody's there, right there, and then you think, please can you just move a bit away, and you think, nah, actually there's no space for it to move. So this is how you try and understand, but you work at it. So up to the end of vegetation being, that is all immobile beings, they all possess one sense of touch. And then we talked about the additional senses as we go up the thing. So the five sense beings with mind, judge the good and the bad, they are called Sangni. and there are Asamni as well. Okay, Asamni are the ones. Samni are the ones who are able to reflect on merits and demerits, and they make a decision. And then I talked about Paryapti, which is within 45 minutes of conception, the Jiv starts taking various things: Ahar, Sharir, Indriya, Shwasoswash, Bhasha, and Man. Okay, these things start developing in the fetus. And there is obviously, the 10 kinds of prans I mentioned, which is a Sparsh, Ras, Gran, Chakshu, Shravan, and then Manobar, Vachanbar, Kayabar, and Shwasoswash and Ayushya. These are the vitalities. So any of these vitalities, if you injure, તમારાથી હિંસા થઈ, ગમે તે જીવમાં તમે ગમે તે vitalities ને તમે affect કરો, તો that means there is some hinsa that you have done. So then I looked at કે પર્યાપ્તિસ કેટલી હોય. So પર્યાપ્તિસ are, as you go back, Ahar, Sharir, Indriya, Shwasoswash, Bhasha, Man. Okay, these are the 6 ones. So એક ઇન્દ્રિયની 4 પર્યાપ્તિ હોય અને 4 પ્રાણાંસ હોય, દ્વેન્દ્રિયને 5 હોય, 6 હોય, એવી રીતે. This is how the classification happens. And that is where I end, because that was the last thing that I was talking about. And this is what I ended up on Srimad Rajchandra. A dream of million years ends soon, when one awakes, so self-knowledge, when shines goes of one's self-delusion, of time eternal, it's not strange. So from time immemorial, the embodied soul wrongly believes and acts as if it is a body, not the self. The self here being the soul. He identifies himself with the activities of the body, not knowing the nature of the self in him. So, as I said, our indriya apane je apvama avi che. We are very fortunate that we are not disabled, that we do not have hearing problems, we do not have speech problems, we do not have any kind of physical disabilities, that some of our senses are impaired. We have full faculties. If we are not able to use those faculties for our own spiritual development, then it is a waste of your, I'm not saying it's a waste of your birth, because you do make a positive thing in the sense that at least you come and listen to me and get bored here as opposed to sitting and getting bored at home watching television. But you use your senses for your own purity, you use your senses to help other beings. અને એટલું અવેરનેસ તો આવવું જોઈએ કે તમને જેટલું જીવવું છે એટલું એક જીવને જીવવું છે. They all have this wish that I want to fulfill my destiny. The way you people, all of us wish to fulfill our destiny. So this chapter brings into focus 2 things. First of all, we are sansaric jeeves. Secondly, is that the only things available to us are the 5 indriya. How we use those indriyas is up to us. What we do with the indriyas is up to us. Okay? And the fact that you are capable of achieving that moksha which Mari Swami achieved. Yeah? So, the nature of the self and all its past mistakes and shortcomings are removed like a removal of a long dream by return to wakefulness. The dawn of absolute knowledge in the soul destroys in a wink all his ignorance of the endless past. Okay? Jati Smaran Gnan is very, very critical. જો જાતિ સ્મરણ જ્ઞાન થાય તો you will realize કે તમે તમારા પૂર્વભાવમાં શું કર્યું છે, અને automatically you will stop yourself from repeating the same mistakes. In a way it's good, you got a clean slate because we don't remember anything. So you start with fresh. આપણે બોલીએ ને કે જાયગા ત્યાંથી સવાર. Okay, so any questions? I've sort of completed mine. Next week it will be from 1.26. But any questions? Anybody confused? Was it clear? It was, I hope. Okay, shall we say the Manglik then? अरिहन्तारोत्तम सीतारोत्तम साहुरोत्तम केवलीपनतो धम्मोत्तमो चत्तारि शरणं पवचामि अरिहन्ते शरणं पवचामि सिद्धे शरणं पवचामि साहु शरणं पवचामि केवलीपनतं धम्मं शरणं पवचामि